Hey, good morning, everyone. So what am I working on now? Well, I got a Nissan Pathfinder that has a broken clock spring, and we sold this vehicle about a year ago, and we still have the donor vehicle. It was a vehicle that we bought that needed a motor, and so we purchased another Nissan Pathfinder, exactly the same vehicle, color, everything identical. But anyway, we bought a wreck, and we still have the wreck. We still have the shell. We haven't crushed it yet, luckily. So anyway, the one that we sold needs a clock spring, and like I said, it's been about a year, so it's up to the guys what they want to do with the customer in terms of that. They'll probably give it to them. But anyway, so here's the vehicle. Now this is the donor vehicle. This one I pulled the motor and stuff out of for the other car. This thing got railed in the left front, tore the suspension out of it. This is also the one, if you remember the video, the jack is still underneath it. I was pulling the left rear wheel off to get to, I forgot what I had to get to, but it was up under there, and all of a sudden that jack failed. So yeah, it's a smaller jack, but it was perfectly rated for the weight of this vehicle, considering there's nothing in it. So anyway, I figured I'd just show you what this is. But yeah, so we got to take the clock spring out of this one. This one didn't deploy an airbag or anything like that, so there's no issue there. So I'm going to show you what's involved in doing that. So basically, the clock spring, if you don't know what that is, it's a basically it's a ribbon wire. It controls the cruise control, the horn, the airbag, stuff like that. Whatever is basically the control on the steering wheel goes through this thing called a clock spring, and it's ribbon wire. And what it is it goes in and it's actually wound up, and then it comes back out, and that allows it to basically the wind up to loosen one way and get tighter the other. So basically, when you're putting stuff back together that has a clock spring, you need to know the orientation of the clock spring as you're going back together, because if you don't and you go back together incorrectly, you could cut the wheels all the way one way, make it too tight, and actually break it. It breaks super easy, so you wouldn't even realize it just cutting the wheels. That's why whenever you get a situation where somebody's taking a steering shaft out, don't turn the steering wheel. I've seen it where people undo a steering shaft and all of a sudden take the steering wheel and go, whee! And it goes spinning, and it's like, oh, you dummy, you just ruined the clock spring. You can ruin it going either way, it doesn't matter, but usually when you tighten it up is when it breaks. But yeah, I've seen people do it. It's amazing, but I have. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this airbag and stuff out, and let me show you how to do that. Obviously there's no battery in this thing, so I don't have to worry about disconnecting anything. If you're ever playing with an airbag system, anything with the system, make sure you disconnect the battery for at least 5 minutes, or discharge capacitors like I've shown you before. But anyway, make sure the battery's disconnected. So obviously battery's disconnected in this. So let me show you what I got to do. So in here, I already got the tools ready because I already took the other one apart. Like I said, this vehicle, it's the same everything, same color, everything. So now, let me put the key. Ah, sugar, it won't let me. All right, so what I got to do is on the back side here, underneath here, there's an access panel or an access point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to de-trim this. I'm going to pull the covers off. There's 3 screws. There's one here, one on the opposite side, and one to the back. I'm going to take those screws out, take the covers off. This way, once the cover's off, I can access that. On the other car, I didn't take the covers off first. I actually rotated the steering wheel up to the basically it was at the 6 o'clock position, so this was at the 12 o'clock position, and I could access that point to get to the access hole. Actually, I'm incorrect in what I'm saying. I apologize for that. The access hole is here. There's another hole here for something else, but the access hole is here. So let me show you what you need to do. Get down here. So basically, inside here, there's a metal tab. It's like a spring tab. You go in and you actually have to push it in quite hard, and it's almost in line with the steering wheel. See that? Like that. That's how you get to it, and you push it. I'm going to probably have to do this with both hands. I'm going to basically smack the end of the screwdriver inward, and it should release the spring, and this will pop out. Let me do that. All right, so I did that. Like I said, it sits right here, and it unloads it. So now this will come out. So now you can disconnect everything. Like I said, I got to save this clock spring, so I don't want to ruin it. So what you're going to do first is take that green wire off. I believe that's just the ground. Take that off, and then I'll show you how to get the airbag wires off. Hold on one second. All right, so that ground wire, I just popped that off. Now to get these off, you gotta be careful with them. But if you look close, you see that little point right there? You go under that and you lift the black portion up. Just like so, see that? Actually, let me just take the one off for now. So see that, and then it just pops off. Same thing with the other one. Just like so. And then once it's up and released, it just comes out. See that? Now it just falls off. Now let me give you a better view. Down here, see, now this is where the screwdriver went in. See that? And basically you're pushing up on that. Pushing up on that releases those tabs. Those tabs lock into here. See that? They lock into there. So that's how you release that. So now what you need to do is disconnect this connector here. See this? A little difficult because you got to get to that little tab. Right there, you could just see the ramps for it. That tab right there. So let me undo that. Like I said, trying to do this one-handed is very difficult, but I got to press down on that. That'll release that. So now that's out of the way. So next thing I'm going to do is take that nut off. And let me get my gun on there. Just like that. Okay. So now the nut's off. Now let me show you how a trick to getting the steering wheel off. What you want to do is grab the steering wheel. I'm going to have to put the phone down. But you're going to grab the steering wheel, and on this side I'm going to push down. On this side I'm going to pull up. And I'm going to basically try to rock it. So you're doing this. I hope you understand what I'm saying. You do that, and it should release from here. These are not on super tight. So let me see if I can't do that. Might be able to one-handed. Do I have enough force? No. All right, let me see if I can't figure out how to do this and show you at the same time, but I don't think I can. No, okay, I'm gonna have to put the phone down. All right, so I rocked it back and forth, and eventually it came loose. They make a special puller for this that goes into the center here, just like a, any type of like a 3-bolt or 2-bolt puller. This one would use like 2 bolts, but this, it doesn't have, if you look inside there, those are not threaded holes. They make a special hook that grabs the aluminum to pull it out. Problem is, and I've seen it multiple times, where you use a special tool, and even with the hooks, I've seen it actually break the steering wheel. Seen it on a number of occasions. So if I could do it like this, that works great. Another way to do this too is if you put the nut on there and get somebody with a brass drift, you need a partner for this. Get a brass drift, you set your seat back, and you put a lot of pressure on it. You know, put your foot on the brake pedal, whatever. Excuse me. And you pull on the steering wheel and have them take a brass drift and a hammer, and they smack the steering shaft down. Make sure the battery's disconnected. Smack the steering shaft down, and a lot of times that shock will help loosen it up. Just be mindful so you don't, the reason you want the nut on there too is because if you don't, I've seen this happen, you wind up putting the steering wheel into your face. So, but anyway, so now the steering wheel comes off. Pretty simple like that. You want to tuck these two down inside, get the steering wheel out. All right, so now here's the clock spring. You don't want to spin this. You want to keep this in its orientation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take those screws out from the steering column to get these covers off. Once the covers are off, then I can undo what I need to do to get that clock spring out. So let me do that. Let me get the covers off, and then I'll show you what I got to do. So there you go. The covers are off. Very simple. I mean, it literally took me 2 minutes. 3 screws, and then you just separate them. They have like locking tabs that hold everything in place, and you just got to separate them. So now there's 2 screws. They're captured screws. One down here, one over here. You take those out, and then you have electrical connectors. You have like one here, and sometimes these tabs are a real pain to push down on. You need like a small screwdriver. Once those screws are out too, this is a locking tab. You have to push down on this to release this, because that actually latches it in place. So you got the one connector here, you have two connectors here, and then there's another one over here somewhere. I can't even see it right now. Once I get everything disconnected, I'll know where it is. So let me start getting those undone, and then we'll pull the clock spring out. Now, one thing I didn't pay attention to, and before I take that thing completely apart, I didn't pay attention to the orientation of the front wheels. Reason for that is, okay, they are straight ahead, see that? So that clock spring was pretty darn close to straight ahead. I know it was off a little bit, but stuff in the steering's bent, but it wouldn't be like 180 degrees out or 360 degrees out, so I'm not too worried about that. So I got that top connector off. I got the screws out. I said this tab, you push that down and this whole thing releases and comes forward. So now I just got to get the rest of the electrical connectors off, and then we get this out. All right, so now I got everything disconnected. There's the three down there, and then this whole thing comes off. And like I said, you want to keep the orientation of this somewhat close. You don't want to go too nutty. You don't want to go 180 degrees or anything with it, because you can break it. So let's bring this down to the other vehicle and let's install it. I already got the other vehicle to this point. That's why I knew what tools to bring out to this car. So let's get that going. So here's the replacement clock spring. There's the old one out of it. So I'm just gonna basically put this all together, and like I always say, reverse procedure to install. So I'm gonna get that on there, get that latch or that clip caught there, and just basically reverse everything, get it hooked up. And when I come across something that I need to show you, I'll show you. But let's go back together with this, and hopefully everything works. Hopefully this clock spring is good. We're gonna find out though. Now with that, all that hooked up, this clock spring is gonna have to move a bit. Because if you remember, the steering wheel is off on the other one, and now in a relaxed position, it kind of wants to move a little bit. But you're not going to, like I said, you don't want to rotate it 180 degrees or anything like that. One thing I did forget to mention is if you look close, if you see right there on the end of the shaft, there's actually a mark. And on the steering wheel itself, see there's a mark on top there? So you want to line the mark up to the mark. That way you know it's straight up on the shaft. Some cars don't have that. Some cars have a spline, like a master spline, so you can only put it on one way. Other cars have nothing. So you have to mark it yourself, or just remember how the thing goes on. Subarus, I know on steering shafts, some of them, you can put them on any which way you want. So you could have a steering wheel that's upside down when you're done. So just something to keep in mind. So now, if you look, the receiving hole is down at about the 7:30, 8 o'clock position. So, and that's at about the 9:30 position. So we're gonna have to rotate. Oh no, So we're gonna have to rotate that down to about that position when we go to put this on. So now I'm gonna feed the two airbag wires through that bottom opening there, that one there, and let's get this on and in place. So there, that's what it looks like coming through. It's not set yet. The steering wheel is actually loose. It also has a centering nub on the top there for the clock spring. So now, if you look, you can see the marks are lined up. Even if it looks like, let's say it looks like it's a hair off, if you tried to go one spline, you'd be like way off. You'd be like 12 o'clock and then all of a sudden 1 o'clock, or 12 o'clock and 11 o'clock. So let's get this all together, and you know, the wiring's got to go on and stuff like that, hook the airbag up. And then the airbag, when you go to put it back in, I'll show you that, it just snaps in place. So let's go get everything on and assembled. All right, so that's all hooked up. Here's the ground wire. That's obviously going to go here. Now, if you look, these wires are color-coded because it's a two-stage airbag. You know, basically like minor accident or major accident. It'll deploy it softly, or it'll deploy it, you know, full blast, depending on the severity of the accident. But anyway, so you're hooking these up. If you're trying to hook these up and you're having a problem, they won't connect easily, stop. They only go on one way. If you look close, you'll see it's got like a tab at the top, like a tower there. See that? I don't know if I can focus on that. But if you look here on the receiving end, see that it's got the tower there? So it'll only go on one way. So, and that's what you want to make sure. And like I said, it's supposed to go on quite easy. Let me see if I can do this and film this at the same time, so you can actually see it. This is kind of difficult to do, so you can see. There it is. It slid right in, no issue, and that locks it in place. So let me finish the rest of this, and then we'll show you how the airbag goes on. All right, so there we go. Now, this whole thing, you want to line it up, get it centered, and this thing should just snap in place. I've never done a Nissan before, or at least this style. There it is. It's locked in place now. All right, let's connect the battery, and let's make sure that everything works. All right, so we may have an epic fail. That's what happens when you deal with used parts. But let me show you. I have a flashing airbag light. However, the horn works now. So I got the scanner hooked up. Let's see what it shows me. I haven't done anything yet. All right, so recognize the vehicle. All right, yeah, 2010 Pathfinder. All right, I'm gonna go through a system scan and let's see what it shows. I'm gonna pause it down. I don't want you to sit through the whole thing. All right, so it went through all the scans and let me show you. Driver's airbag module open. So we never had an airbag light on before, but now we have a horn that works. I'm curious if the cruise works. I'm gonna take it for a quick ride to see if the cruise works. But yeah, we're gonna have to get a brand new clock spring. But it is what it is. I mean, that's what happens when you deal with used parts. You go to a pick and pull, especially if it's something electric. If it's something you could put your hands on, like, well, actually, no. If you go to a pick and pull for a starter, an alternator, a caliper, anything like that, how do you know you got something that's good? You don't. You really don't. It's a crapshoot. So, anyway, yeah, it looks like on this one we're going to be putting a factory clock spring in it because this one ain't working. So, yeah. All right. So, failure on our end. Anyway, so if you're getting something out of my videos, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.